Hi everyone, this is the dispatch for Friday, May 8. We start with Psalm 31 again, selections from that psalm, and then we move back to Exodus, to the story, to the beginning really of the Exodus narrative, the story of Moses before all of the drama with Pharaoh and the plagues and so forth. In this case, it's the story of the burning bush. Moses is a shepherd. He's out in the wilderness, and all he's doing is minding his own business, tending his flock, and he sees a burning bush. And that, of course, is the bush from which God speaks to Moses, calls Moses to go and to set the Israelites free. There's so much to this story. That it's such a memorable and wonderful story. And there's more to come as well, because God will tell Moses God's own name in a little bit, but that's not part of our passage this morning. But this idea of Moses just minding his own business, he's going about the work of everyday life, and that's when God meets him. It's a good reminder to us that God meets us in the midst of the most ordinary moments and tasks and things that make up our daily lives. And much of life today, as strange as it is, might feel very ordinary, a lot of just being at home. But even in that sort of scenario, that sort of situation, God can meet us. And then, of course, God says to Moses, I want you to go to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh to set the Israelites free. And Moses says, who am I? And we'll learn that that doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter who Moses is, because God is going to say, I am who I am. It matters who God is, not who Moses is. So after the Exodus passage, we move forward to the New Testament. We are in the book of Acts again with Stephen. Recall that Stephen is the first deacon of the church, the first one appointed to serve the needs of the faith community itself. But Stephen is also called upon to proclaim the gospel, and here he is challenged by the Jews, and he is reciting, rehearsing the story of God, the story of Israel, the story of the Jews, telling about from the time of Abraham forward. And he will go on. It's a very long chapter because it's a very long sermon that Stephen is giving. It will lead to an indictment of the Jews, that he will point out that they are the ones who have not been faithful to the will of God. That will get him in big trouble, of course. But this is a good reminder to us that even as Christians, the story of the Exodus, as formative as it was and remains for the Jews, is also a formative part of our own narrative, our own understanding of who God is and how God acts on our own behalf as the church, as the body of Christ. That is all for today. That's it for the week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Sunday morning and then again on Monday morning. Have a great weekend.